And the theme for Virginia throughout the year stood up, resiliency. They find the equalizer, and then in overtime they find the game winner. And the culture of this Cavalier squad has really helped carry them with all the talent they have as well.
This team just does not give up. Whatever is thrown at them, they can deal with it. They have bent this season, but they have not broken, and that is why they find themselves in the Elite Eight matchup. That means everything to this program.
Virginia coming in at 16-3-3 as they huddle together. Of course, the backdrop over these last couple of weeks for them, as much as it is for any of the athletic programs at Virginia, has been the loss of the 3 football players who were killed a few weeks ago. There were several members of this Virginia team that were friends with those players, and so in speaking with the longtime head coach Steve Swanson, that has played a huge role in their mentality here over these last couple weeks.
Yeah, the heartbreak that they've been dealing with, the whole UVA community has been dealing with is very, very sad. It's sent ripple effects throughout this nation, quite frankly, and this team has dealt with it very, very well, and it's an unfortunate occurrence that they have been able to rally around.
And now hoping to reach their 5th College Cup on the other side, UCLA looking to get there for the 12th time as a program. Great crowd on hand here tonight in Westwood. We are off and running. Great color-on-color matchup. UVA in the orange, UCLA in the blue. We are off and running here in Westwood. Your officials, Randy Hoffman is the center official. He is assisted by Andy Reyes and Melissa Gonzalez on the lines. Daniel Radford is the 4th. Now, UVA trotting a lineup out there that is very similar to what they've gone with for a while now. Alexis Theoret, Alex Spanstra, Maggie Cagle, Claire Constant, Emma Dawson, Haley Hopkins, their leading scorer, Talia Stouty, Leah Godfrey, Lady Rouse, Samar Guidry, and of course Kayla White in goal, the senior out of Arlington, Virginia, who has had to wait a long time to get this role. Laurel Ivory utilized her bonus year from the COVID season, so White was slated to be the starter last year, but she was patient, and now she's in goal for UVA this season, hoping to take them to carry North Carolina. Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, Lily Reel gets it cleared across midfield for UCLA. Reel on the back line along with Jaden Perry, flanked by Quincy McMahon and Madeline Desiano. Also have Ali Lemos in the midfield, along with Sunshine Fontes and Mary Carmen Reyes. Up front, Lexi Wright, Raylan Turner, and Bridget Marin Valencia, the freshman, getting her 2nd start of the season. One notable change there for UCLA in front of the 6th-year goalkeeper, Lauren Brisky. And Marin Valencia able to navigate it away from Guidry. Screaming forward, Theoret. Here's Theoret on the dribble. Pass was behind her intended target. She was looking for Cagle, but Cagle had made a turn and wasn't ready for it. Brisky's got the loose ball.
Yeah, and on that play, we see UCLA tightening up their lines. There wasn't too much space to really give up through the middle of the 18-yard box, and that's what you want in these early moments of the match. You need to shore up your defense, get through the nervy moments of the match, and then find your way to settle into it.
Both teams have had their tests in this tournament already. UCLA in the 2nd round had to go to penalty kicks against UCF as Raylan Turner is fouled from behind. And then, of course, as we mentioned, UVA needing overtime, coming back from 2 separate 1-goal deficits against Penn State to get to overtime, find that game winner in Happy Valley. Now, both teams battle-tested to get to this point. Reel's service ball looking towards Marin Valencia. Bodies it down, picked up by Ali Lemos. The freshman is the only field player to have started every match this season for UCLA. And it's been a position change for her coming in to school. She was playing as a 10, playing more up in the formation. Now she's at the back end as the holding mid. And the UCLA coaching staff is very happy with what they've seen out of her.
Her composure and just her ability to dictate the tempo of the game is something that you quite frankly don't see from very many freshmen. She doesn't play like a freshman. She plays like a very mature collegiate player, and that has been a very, very solid asset for the Bruins throughout this season.
Little chip over the top, looking for Hopkins. Jaden Perry back there. A bad step there from Hopkins. She's slow to get up as Perry clears it off. Meanwhile, over the top, Raylan Turner will not be able to get there first as Claire Constant relays it back for Kayla White. Will get her first touch on the ball. White did say, in having to spend that extra year behind Laurel Ivory, hey, there is no one better to learn from. I just want to do what she does. Ivory setting the table for White. Battle for the ball, and it's won by UVA. Here's Leah Godfrey playing it out wide on the far side. Cagle with the lateral run, and Sunshine Fontes takes her off the ball, looking to lead UCLA out. UVA back on it. Bruins were trying to get towards Raylan Turner. Coming backwards there is Lainey Rouse, who is hoping to return to her hometown with a win here tonight. The junior out of Cary, North Carolina. Winner of this one to take on Alabama in the national semifinal. Florida State and North Carolina on the other side of the bracket. Marin Valencia with a foot in there on Guidry. It'll stay with the Cavaliers. So UVA at 16-3-3. That's now 16 wins or more in 4 out of the last 5 seasons. They had 18 a year ago. And 2 of their 3 draws kind of felt more like losses because they conceded late. They have had a very good season. In ACC play, they beat UNC and Duke on the road. Jaden Perry gets it off the 18-yard line. Kind of stuck right at Alexis Theoret, though. This is Constant. Cagle doubled. And Quincy McMahon spins away.
And Nick, so far we see a lot of duels, a lot of challenges. The game is very, very locked at this point in time, and that's very typical for the beginning of a match, especially when each team is trying to impose their will on the game. At this point in time, UVA has pretty much pinned UCLA into their own half. They haven't really been able to find any real rhythm in the game, and that's something that UCLA is going to need to try to break that rhythm to get into the game, because right now UVA is dictating the flow of the match.
Haven't seen much of a press either from UCLA. Still early. And Cagle not making the run. And this will inch its way off. And Lauren Brisky will get her first touch. 6th-year super senior. Brisky with outstanding numbers this season. A 0.50 goals against average. 8 shutouts, 5 more combined shutouts. And she has started every match this season. Led the Pac-12 in goals against average, save percentage, and wins. Ambitious pass from Perry is cut off by Spanstra. And now here's Hopkins. Looks fine after taking that bad step earlier. And Desiano lowers the shoulder into Spanstra and earns the goal kick for UCLA.
And overall, that's very well defended by UCLA, because UVA does a very good job to try to play in between the lines to slip the ball into a very dangerous area. And right there, Desiato does a very good job to shield the ball, let it go out of bounds, and then they can regroup. And
Alex Spanstra, a very dangerous player, 5-time All-ACC selection. She holds the UVA program record with 106 career starts, 37 goals, 34 assists to her name. Give it away, though, as Godfrey tries to push it forward. A whiff of a clear from Reyes. Theoret plays it out wide to Samar Guidry, native of McKinney, Texas. Back to Theoret. Virginia gets the switch off. Cagle inches it back to Dawson. And now a touch for Lainey Rouse. Lexi Wright right on her. Forces it back to Constant, who returns it right up the sideline, but McMahon shakes off Cagle. Wright just gets a touch off into Raylan Turner. Doesn't have help with her. The orange jerseys converge, and Theoret will track it down. Junior out of Haymarket, Virginia, has started every match this season. Her first year as a starter for the Cavaliers.
And once again, we see UVA, their ability to really dictate the matchup to this point in time. What they're doing very, very well is they don't allow UCLA to get any type of rhythm. They don't allow them to build their possession, because that's what UCLA likes to do. And at this point in time, they aren't able to do that, because every single time UCLA tries to build out, there's a UVA player right there to break it up, and then they're back attacking.
Well, here's the transition again as Lemos tries to play it out over the top for Lexi Wright, but nothing doing. And that's one of the keys for Sean Swanson's club, is limit those transition opportunities and contain the Bruins in that area.
Correct, and so far they're doing a very good job of that.
Off the UVA throw, and a touch there for Turner, but not on the same page with Wright. UVA now trying to pass out of their own end of the field as Rouse goes along the line. Quincy McMahon will let it bounce out for a throw. This is the 12th all-time meeting between these two teams. UCLA holds the lead, 6 wins, 3 losses, and 2 draws. And of the now 12 meetings, this is the 7th in the NCAA tournament. There's a breakout for Godfrey, threading it to her left. Hopkins, leading goal scorer, takes the shot, and that will skip wide. Go for a corner. Bruins got a deflection on it and will have to defend the first corner kick here tonight. Very quick buildup.
Everywhere UCLA looks, there's 1 or 2 or 3 orange shirts around them. You see there, they're able to break out on the counter, and they're finding their Haley Hopkins, who is very, very dangerous around goal. So that's definitely another sign that they're dictating the matchup to this point in time, and UCLA is going to need to defend this corner.
This is Godfrey in the corner and plays it short for Cagle. Works it back out for Theoret. And now to the left for Guidry. Straight away, the chip into the box is over everybody, and Brisky has the loose ball. And now with Desiano streaking down the field, Brisky kicks in that direction. Guidry back along with Constant, and the Bruins will have a throw. Rouse does well to force the throw. And now a turn from Marin Valencia. Dribble got away from her.
And now we're seeing UCLA grow into the match a little bit more. Very well done by Brisky to find the potential breakout on the counter. That transitions the territory into UVA's defensive third, and that pushes them back a little bit. And now UCLA should have a little bit more joy in terms of picking up possession and playing in the other end.
Fontes sizing up Hopkins here and wins it away. Flicks it forward. Mary Carmen Reyes, member of the Mexican national team, back for the freshman, Marin Valencia. And now here's a run for the right back, and Desiano pushing it towards goal. Well beyond Raylan Turner, an easy catch for Kayla White. White on the season is 0.79 goals against average. Save percentage at 76%. She's got 9 solo shutouts and a 13-3-3 record. So mentioned, this is now the 7th time these teams have played in the NCAA tournament. 6 of the 7 have been played at UCLA. UVA has won one of those matchups. The Bruins have taken all the rest of them, and the one neutral site between them was played in the national semifinals. And that was in 2013. The Bruins advanced on penalty kicks, ultimately won their first and only national championship in 2013. These teams last met in the tournament in 2017. That was a 2-1 UCLA win. UVA had an own goal go in their favor to take an early lead, but the Bruins answered and ultimately won. So 13 minutes gone by, and while UVA has dictated play for the most part, not too much in the shot department to show for it just yet.
Yeah, through the run of play, UVA's been the better team up to this point in time. But like you said, there's nothing to show for it in terms of shots or anything like that. But what that really does to a team, though, is it can wear you down if you continue to have to play on your back foot. And UCLA, has been able to find a little bit more joy than in the first 5 to 10 minutes, but it's still been a game that has been relatively locked. We haven't really seen too many chances in front of goal or anything of the nature.
Comes back here for Constant. Threads it forward for Dawson. Looking for Hopkins, makes the turn. And that pass gets away. Follow-up try is put on and saved by Brisky. That was Dawson after Godfrey had a touch get away from her. And then that bouncing ball, Dawson wasn't able to do anything real threatening with.
Yeah, what you can see that UVA, is trying to do is they're trying to find Hopkins in the pocket where one of the center backs has to step to her, and then she's trying to lay it back off to one of the midfielders so they can play in behind that vacated space that one of the center backs has left. It's a play that they've looked to execute twice now, and that's something that is very much part of how they look to exploit defenses. UCLA's been up for every challenge so far in that regard, but that's something that they need to be cognizant of.
Here's Lexi Wright getting some help in Quincy McMahon over there on the sideline. McMahon going 1-on-2, and Rouse is able to clear it, but only just barely as Fontes receives the pass back. Fontes coming in off the mitts and in the back of the net. UCLA has the early lead here in the 15th minute, and it's their leading goal scorer, Sunshine Fontes.
And that's what you get when you have a player like Sunshine Fontes. She can create something out of nothing, a little 1-2 in the box, plays it toward the back post. Goalkeeper gets a touch on it, but it's just not quite enough. Trickles into the back post, and look at what it means to her. She runs to the bench, she celebrates with all of her teammates, and she is such a special player. Anytime the ball is at her feet, time just seems to stop because she puts everybody on notice. And what she can do with the ball is just simply special. Right there, that was probably maybe even her 5th touch of the game. Goal, UCLA is up 1-0.
A goal in the 15th minute. It was Lexi Wright who gave it immediately back to her, and Fontes with a head of steam, able to get it through the mitts of Kayla White, who was right there, but Fontes can strike it as strong as anybody, and White just couldn't quite hang on.
Yeah, and now we have game on. The game is on now. And UVA is going to have to keep pushing it, and to keep pushing it. But what that is going to do is that may open up the game as well. So we may see a game that becomes more end-to-end, which does favor both offenses because we have 2 offenses that can create goals out of nothing here. So now things are going to get really exciting.
Got a whole lot of game left to play. But Fontes putting the Bruins in front with her 11th goal of the season. Her 2nd goal in the tournament after scoring in the first round. This one pinballs, and Lexi Wright is coming forward. Trying to find Turner, but that one is cut off by Stouty, who is fouled by Turner. Possession to Virginia.
And there's the old phrase that goals change games, and it's on display right here. We've seen UCLA pretty much be pinned in for the first 15 minutes of this match. Fontes is able to score a goal, put her team ahead, and you already see the momentum just shifting in UCLA's favor. UVA has done a good job, obviously, to not concede within 30 seconds, not concede another goal, but momentum shifts after goals. Goals change games.
UCLA's first shot of the game finds its way across the goal line into the back of the net. But Virginia has been here before many times this season as Godfrey picks up the ball yet again. Very active so far in these first 16.5 minutes. Theoret, player that Swanson says doesn't get enough credit as the holding mid. Hopkins swinging things outside, looking for Rouse, but McMahon will just clear it off and force the throw. Lainey Rouse making her 18th start this season. Played on the U.S. U20 World Cup team with a couple Bruins. Lily Reel, the center back, and UCLA's backup goalkeeper in Niku Purcell. Constant tried to get one through traffic, comes all the way back to her. Spanstra, tracked by Fontes. Theoret helps her out. Constant out for Rouse. Patient approach here from Virginia.
And again, we see UCLA dictating or UVA rather, dictating the flow of the game. They're dictating possession, but UCLA is comfortable just sitting in their banks.
Here's Guidry serving one well out of the reach of Emma Dawson. Goal kick to UCLA. Guidry, a third-year starter on the back line. This is a UVA back line in general with a ton of experience all the way across.
And leadership like that is key, especially at this point in the season. You have the leadership on the back line like you just spoke of from UVA, and that has been something that has really galvanized this team, and it's very much the backbone of what they do.
Fontes working backwards here. UVA started to press a little bit, and Fontes decides to just clear. Bruins will have the throw. Thought it was interesting when you talk to coaches, though, that this match, this quarterfinal match, in a lot of ways feels bigger than potentially even getting to the College Cup, because there is a sense that you're starting anew once you get to the Final Four. As this one is out of the reach of Lexi Wright and picked up by Kayla White.
Yeah, and that's absolutely right, because the Elite Eight game is that hill, that hump that you're really trying to get over, because a lot of programs, especially programs at this caliber, they shoot for the Final Four. Final Four or bust is what a lot of these programs are thinking about when they are this successful. So to get there, there's a lot of pressure on this game. And once you get to the Final Four, like you said, anything can happen. It's a new game, it's a new season, and that's when things really, really start to heat up. But to get there, you got to get through this Elite Eight game. And
both these teams, both these programs rather, plenty of experience in the College Cup historically. Virginia's been there 4 times. UCLA's been there 11 times, and both pretty recently. UCLA in 2019 and Virginia during the COVID season in the spring of 21. First sub of the match will be UCLA's as Jackie Gilday comes on for Mary Carmen Reyes. The Bruins will try to pass out of their own end here. Gilday is a player who has played a lot as of late in terms of the quantity of minutes in a match, and she has scored twice now here in the last month for UCLA after not scoring at all in her entire career.
Yeah, and she offers something a little bit different off the bench. She has the ability to score off set pieces. She has the ability to shore up the midfield as well. She's definitely a player that adds something special to this UCLA squad when she comes in.
Now, UCLA head coach Margarita Awazasa said she's our stabilizer. When you feel the shape may be losing structure a little bit, bring in Jackie Gilday and she helps stabilize things.
And to have players like that coming off a bench, especially in moments like this, at this point in the season, it just makes you that much stronger. Your team continues to get better as the game progresses.
Long run there from Guidry initially, and McMahon just gets in front of that pass. Cagle was nearly in behind her.
Yeah, Cagle's movement behind McMahon was very, very good. And McMahon almost got wrong-footed with that through ball potentially, but she did a good job to recover. That's something that UCLA needs to be very aware of, because if Cagle can get in behind the back line, she's very dangerous.
And Cagle's been a great distributor, a team leading 12 assists on the season. This one gathered up by Talia Stoudy, senior out of Atlanta, has started all but 8 matches in her entire Virginia career. Start number 78 here tonight. Esiano, the body and the volley. And Theoret not getting much of it with the head, but enough to avoid Turner.
Yeah, sometimes on the back line, you just need to do enough. And Theoret, recovering on that left-hand side of the defense, does a good job to lay it off to Constant, and then Constant's able to play out. But sometimes you just need a little touch to disrupt a play, and Theoret did what she needed to do.
So ahead of this UCLA throw-in, the Bruins will make a change up front. Allie Cook is coming on for Raylan Turner. So 2 subs right near the midway point of this first half for Margarita Awazasa and UCLA.
And one of the strengths for UCLA is their depth. They can bring in players to get better as the game goes, and Cook is another one of those players that can score goals and definitely change the game for UCLA's favor.
Lemos started to get clamped down on, a lot of orange jerseys. Lily Rio collects back near midfield. Sophomore out of the Boston area. Jaden Perry coming forward. Ball still live here, no foul, as Lemos gets it out wide to Bridget Marin Valencia. The back heel for Desiano. On the move, Desiano, the cross, and the finish! Lexi Wright, and the flag is up. Flag is up on the near side. Just mistimed the run.
The flag ultimately goes up here, but this is another example of UCLA being able to create opportunities out of nothing. It starts with Bridget the back heel. Now the cross inside, it was just barely offsides on that far side. Lexi Wright thought that she was able to put UCLA up 2-0, but that's very good wing play on this near side to create a goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah, it looked like she was just behind the right back, Lainey Rouse over there. Just mistimed it. Don't see too many goals with the body, but it was nearly 2-0 UCLA.
I like that bravery, though, by Lexi Wright to make the box, to crash the box, and do any and everything that she can to put it on frame. Unfortunately for UCLA, it was offsides. You have to give credit to the Cavaliers for holding their lines and being patient, and it paid off for them because we're still 1-0. But again, that is how UCLA can create chances out of nothing. They have a lot of creative players, and so does UVA.
Here's Hopkins settling the ball down, still on the dribble, trying to cut it back, stays in possession. Gets some help there from Swanson. Now UCLA trying to speed things up. The UVA able to back it off for Guidry. Theoret just avoids Cook. I think she had eyes in the back of her head there.
Excellent awareness by Theoret there to be able to switch play under pressure. If that ball gets nicked, UCLA's off to the races.
Stouty gets it forward, and Spanstra leads Guidry, looking for that crossing angle. And this will spin right to the post. Brisky's got it. Lauren Brisky, the 6th-year super senior. When these teams last played each other in the NCAA tournament in 2017, Brisky was utilizing her redshirt year.
And when you speak of leadership, Brisky personifies every single aspect of that word, and she commands the back line and henceforth commands the whole team. Everybody knows that when Brisky's in between the pipes, they're that much more confident because she's not going to give up anything cheap, and she's always communicating, she's helping the back line, and that's something that UCLA just breeds a lot of confidence from because her leadership back there shores things up for them.
Having to field this cross that was sent in by Rouse. Hopkins got a head on it. Now it's Spanstra. Back for Godfrey, putting it on. Brisky's right there. And you obviously have to score goals to win matches, but especially in that weekend when UCLA knocked off Duke and North Carolina, they don't get those wins without number one in goal. She had at least half a dozen highlight-worthy saves that weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And to do anything at a high level in the NCAA tournament, you need a solid goalkeeper because there are going to be so many moments where they just need to come up big. And Brisky's done that time and time again for UCLA.
And she had a little bit of a tight play to navigate there as that one got curled back in with Hopkins coming in, but got it away. Marin Valencia over the top. Stouty back there ahead of Cook. And she's going to take it to the outside here and get it forward to Guidry.
That's very good defending there by Stouty in the channel. She's composed. She just gets her body in between Cook, plays outside to her left back, and that's very, very good defending by Stouty to put out a fire.
It's a UVA defense that has pitched 13 shutouts this season. On average, they allow 0.68 goals per game, third best in the ACC. And of course, ACC extremely deep this year, as they are most years. 5 teams reaching the Final 8, already 2 in the College Cup. UVA trying to be a third. Here's Rouse serving it. Brisky leaping into the air with Hopkins lurking. Had a couple of sixth-year super seniors rising up on that play. And Hopkins, a local product from Newport Beach in Mater Dei High School.
Yeah, and she'll have a lot of friends and family here at this game. She's definitely a player to look out for. Haley Hopkins, she can score goals. What she does best is she gets in between the two central backs and looks to live in that space and waits for crosses. There on that play, Brisky was did a very good job to command her box, but that's something that Haley Hopkins is very dangerous in that situation. When service is coming in and she's in between the two center backs.
Leads the team with 13 goals and 31 total points. Hopkins now in her second year at Virginia after she spent her first 4 years at Vanderbilt and was a goal-scoring machine there as well. Get this, this is her 104th college match. She's got 55 goals and 26 assists.
And talk about the ability to score goals. It just doesn't get better than that stats-wise.
Now here is UCLA finding Desiano in the open field. Desiano with the left foot, couldn't get it through traffic. It was blocked. Lemos, a little touch. Guidry collides with Marin Valencia. Advantage being played here for UVA. Theoret gets it out to the far side. Cagle awaits. Into the 30th minute, 1-0 UCLA. Sunshine Fontes getting the goal in the 15th. A little give and go with Lexi Wright. A high rising blast from Fontes that got through the mitts of Kayla White.
And these games are really about the special moments. Who's going to take hold of the match? Right now, that player is Sunshine Fontes. She is the hero right now. But now, what we know very, very well about UVA is that they don't give up. They are not going to play themselves out of this match. They're definitely not going to hang their head, and they're going to be looking for any and every way for them to equalize and to get back into this match.
And finding Godfrey has been a key part for their special season as Rouse looking to put it inside. It was knocked down by Reel, and the follow-up try from Cagle clears the bar. We'll get a change here for Virginia. There first, Jill Flamia is the first off the bench. Looks like she will replace Swanson, and for UCLA, the freshman Sophia Cook is coming on for Bridget Marin Valencia.
And we see Cagle just stand that one up just a little bit. It goes over the bar, obviously. But she is another player who's very dangerous on that right-hand side, and she doesn't give up on plays either. So even if you think you've cleared your lines, you need to be very aware of this UVA squad because they're coming time and time again.
And here is Perry having to hurry this ball away from a sprinting Spanstra, who's now trying to catch up to Desiano. The UCLA's made 3 subs in this first half, and Virginia the 1. So right at the start of the match, we were talking about how Ali Lemos was switching throughout this season back to the holding mid spot. Finish that thought in a second here as the Bruins are building. Cook finds Lemos. Lemos is now playing more forward. She is not in the back end of the midfield. We see Gilday and Fontes kind of playing as a pair of 6s back there, but Lemos now situated more forward.
Yeah, they've seemed to invert the midfield where they're playing with 2 6s and Fontes and Gilday, like you said, and that allows Lemos to now push up into that natural 10 spot where she's very, very comfortable. But again, we've talked about depth with UCLA, and that is something that a lot of teams can't do, invert their midfield in the middle of the game and still be just as effective.
Here's Sophia Cook's cross headed by Constant. Settled down here by Cagle. Lexi Wright trying to come through on the weak side, and UVA content to just clear it off. Sophia Cook, her and Ali Lemos, couple of all freshman team selections in the Pac-12 this season. Cook has had a really nice year, 6 goals and 4 assists. Lexi Wright just taking it away right off the throw to Cook. Evades a would-be tackler. Cook sliding, and the save made by Kayla White.
And there you go. You've spoken about the year that Cook has had. And right there, she just is able to turn, wiggle free just a little bit and get a shot off. That is something that is going to keep a defense on notice and definitely keep a defense on their toes. And again, we speak about depth. UCLA, they're able to come at you with different weapons, and Cook is one of those that when she comes into the game, she definitely affects it for the better for UCLA.
Now both Cooks at the top of the formation right now for UCLA. You got the freshman Sophia on the right side, and then Allie, who just had the shot there moments ago, the former Oregon Duck in her first year with UCLA. Allie Cook with 5 goals, couple of assists on the season. UVA getting right back into the attacking half, though. They are out shooting the Bruins 4-3 to this point. Spanstra could not make the turn, and McMahon pushes it forward, but it catches Rouse. Theoret leads Stouty into empty space. Into the box, body down by Perry. Coming in, Godfrey gets it going forward. And Desiano's got some space here to clear. Sophia Cook to Lemos, right back to Sophia Cook, off the left shoulder and settles it down. UCLA in the NCAA tournament for the 26th time here this season. And looking to make their 12th College Cup. Lexi Wright picking up this ball and is cut off there by Rouse, and a corner awarded.
In the end, very good defending by Rouse. That's a good recovery for her to get back on the other side of the ball and make the block on Wright, because Wright is in. Wright just hesitates just a little bit on her decision to either serve back towards the middle or shoot, and that was the very split second where Lainey Rouse was able to get a foot in there.
First corner kick of the match for UCLA. Initially, Lemos was headed to the corner, but now it will be Sunshine Fontes over there and Sophia Cook, the short option. So Fontes setting up for that in-swinging ball. 5 players around the 6-yard box, and Fontes doesn't get all of it. It deflects off of Godfrey, who is able to clear it off the far side. Quincy McMahon to throw in. Scored in the last match against Northwestern. That was Sunday. 2 goals, 5 assists on the year for the sophomore out of Carmel, Indiana. And this will be a foul going against Lexi Wright. Possession back to the Cavaliers in a quick-moving first half, already into the 36th.
Yeah, because there's been a decent amount of action in this first half. You know, we obviously have the goal from Sunshine Fontes, but we've had a lot of good play from both sides. To be fair, this game has been relatively even. Although the scoring sheet is 1-0 up in favor of UCLA, UVA as well has had their fair share of their joy in this match. They've been able to do what they have wanted to do. The only thing gone left calling for them is obviously for them to have a goal in the back of the net. They haven't been able to really create that final pass that's created a clear-cut scoring opportunity, but in possession they've been effective.
About what we expected, 2 high-powered clubs. Virginia will make its second change, and it will be Sarah Clark coming on, and she will replace Samar Guidry. And it looks like they're going to now flip the outside backs here. It looks like Clark's going to go on the right side, and Rouse is going to swing over to the left side. Yeah,
Rouse will come over on this left-hand side, and her ability to play on both sides of a back line is something that is very special. And she's done it all year for UVA, and that's something that they're obviously confident in, to be able to do it in an Elite 8 game. But her ability to play on both sides and play comfortably with both feet is a definite asset for UVA.
Gets this ball out to Cagle, who's now operating on the left side here. Marked by a pair, and Desiano takes her right off the ball. Forward it goes. And Allie Cook trying to lead her, but Rouse, a couple steps ahead, will return it for Kayla White.
And that right there for UVA is why it's very important to be able to shift Rouse over to this left-hand side, because Desiano is dangerous on the overlap, but Rouse is equally as pacey.
Matchup to watch for sure as we're in the waning moments here of this first half. Inside 8 minutes to go before halftime. UVA, the number 10 scoring offense in the nation. UCLA, number 7. Both scoring more than 2 goals per game on average. And you've got a couple of defenses that rank inside the top 20 nationally as well. UCLA, number 6.
And I think for me, that's the overall difference in the match. So far, UCLA's, of course they're winning 1-0, but their ability to stay organized in their back line has really stifled the attack and the attacking third for UVA. So they have been very organized in the back line. UVA hasn't really been able to slip balls or find Hopkins in between the 2 center backs. And quite frankly, UCLA has been able to unlock UVA's defense.
Here's Rouse. Virginia inching their way further into the final third. Outside for the fresh legs of Sarah Clark, but not forcing the issue with Lexi Wright right there. Now here is Stouty coming forward, the center back trying to thread one through, but Lily Reel foots it away. Virginia has never won a national championship. Reached the title game in 2014. That's the furthest they've gone, but lost to fellow ACC rival in Florida State. Another change coming for the Cavaliers. Their third of this first half. And Lacey McCormack coming on and will replace Claire Constant. So a change at center back there for Virginia with Constant coming on. And McCormack, a player who was starting at the beginning of the season, now coming off the bench for the Cavaliers. They work it outside, off the throw-in, and back for McCormack. Stouty being gifted some space. And nobody making the run to the area she put the ball, and Gilday just puts the ball in an empty space. And Virginia will have the throw in the midfield.
And UCLA can now push their lines up a little bit. But like we spoke about earlier, UVA is dictating the play, really, in the possession match. They're definitely winning the possession match. But since UCLA is so organized in their defensive 1/3, there's just nowhere for UVA to really go. Once they get into their attacking 1/3, UCLA has shored everything up. There are no open lanes for them to play through. And that, to me, like I said earlier, has been the difference in this match so far.
Bruins had the throw in, but UVA wins possession right back. Wide turn from Hopkins, shoving away Gilday, staying on the ball. Gilday catching back up, but give it on the right wing. Spanstra able to get around McMahon, tripped, and a penalty awarded? No. No, pointing to the goal. It's a goal kick. Randy Hoffman.
At the end of the day, Spantra's able to get inside the box, but Lily Reel does a very good job to not get her hands caught in the cookie jar. She pulls out last minute, and that keeps everybody here in this stadium, the home fans here, very happy that she doesn't stick her foot out and have a penalty awarded for UVA. I think that's very intelligent defending, but also you see how Spantra knows when she gets into those spaces, just a little touch is going to be a penalty. So definitely definitely some very, very experienced attacking there by Spantra.
Very quick to accelerate as well on the ball, as Brisky will just get to this one ahead of Spanstra. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Virginia still with the edge in the shot department, 4-3, but UCLA in terms of shots on target with the 2-1 advantage. Goes into McCormack and Allie Cook. Cook footing it forward, and McCormack able to get the final say about that battle and clears it off the far side. Gilday rolls it back for Jaden Perry. Got 3 sophomores and 1 graduate in Desiano on the back line for the Bruins. Are able to get it out to Sophia Cook. Godfrey coming back. Passes away, but just beyond Fontes. Cleared off by Theoret with about 2.5 minutes to go.
And this is the point in the match where UCLA, they're going to take their time. They don't need to rush anything. But on the other side of the coin, UVA is going to definitely want to make sure that they shore things up in this last 2 minutes, give or take, because they definitely don't want to go into the locker room 2-0 down. If they can pick a moment on the counter in the last maybe minute, then they'll take it, but they obviously don't want to open up their lines.
So a throw in here in the final third. Sunshine Fontes backing up and gives a heave into the area, but it is Rouse getting the first touch on it. But Desiano gets it out to Fontes, who moves in, putting it toward goal, but it's on the outside netting. Window was closing there for Fontes as Godfrey was collapsing in. Rouse, nice turn. And is fouled by Sophia Cook. Free kick awarded.
And that's good feet and very good play there by Rouse. We talked about her coming over to this left-hand side, and she's a right-footed player. Started the game on the right-hand side, but her composure on the ball when she has to spin out to her weaker foot is very well done.
On the free kick, they try to switch field, and then that ball bounces over the foot of Hopkins, and Desiano clears it to the far side. And this is bouncing in play, and ultimately is awarded to Virginia. Final minute of this first half. Bruins grab the lead in the 15th. But Virginia, for much of this first half, as we've been talking about, they've been on the front foot. Still looking for that equalizer. Godfrey working it on back. Leah Godfrey back-to-back all ACC first-team selections. Rouse working inward, sending it into the box over the head of Flamia. And that's probably going to do it here for this first half with inside 20 seconds to go.
Yeah, you just see Brisky have everybody push up. She'll take her time and let the clock die out here.
8, 7, 6.
Now a slow jog to the top of the 6 for Brisky. And both teams will walk off the field. Takes us to halftime. It's Jackie Gilday waiting to get the whistle from Randy Hoffman. Gilday trying to stay warm. And here we go. Second half underway. A spot in the College Cup on the line. Lemos stepping around Godfrey here right off the jump. Here is Lily Reel. Over the top, looking for Turner. Stouty got a piece of it, and it's picked up by Guidry.
And I like the way that UCLA has come out of the locker room with confidence. They're looking to get back on the score sheet, and they're playing with a good sense of rhythm.
UCLA has already beaten 2 of the top teams in the ACC this season on the road in Duke and Virginia. Trying to defeat a third here, or excuse me, Duke and North Carolina, trying to defeat a third in Virginia. Theoret, long dribble before swinging it out for Samar Guidry. Godfrey looking to make the turn, and now the service ball in behind, and getting a touch on it is Flamia. Out in front, though, taking away the play, Lauren Brisky.
Brisky does a good job to come out and put out a fire, because that's a goal if she's not as attentive as she is. But we spoke about what UVA needs to do to get themselves back into this match, and that's create opportunities. That, for me, is the best opportunity that UVA's created all night, because you see Theoret come off the pocket and play a nice little clip ball into Flamia, and that's a very good attack from UVA. Luckily for UCLA, Brisky is up for the challenge.
Flamia scored in their Sweet 16 game against Penn State. ACC all-freshman team selection this year. Virginia will have the throw. Virginia's 3 losses this season were to teams who each made the Elite 8. Notre Dame, Florida State, and Duke. And of course, one of those three teams is left, Florida State. Cagle trying to stay with it, but cannot. Turner able to get it to Lemos and returning it back up this left flank, but out of the reach of Allie Cook. That one bending a bit too much off the right foot of Lemos. Back it comes for Claire Constant. She's a super senior in her third year as a starter. Former Virginia Gatorade Player of the Year back out of high school. Hopkins still moving. Hopkins. Gilday got a foot in there and takes it away. Gets it off the foot of Guidry. Bruins have the throw.
And that's a good, very good play by Gilday to stifle the attack, because Hopkins is looking to get close to the vertices where she can look for that far post, and that's very good awareness and defensive ability by Gilday to put that fire out. If she doesn't make that play, UCLA is in trouble.
Fontes knocks it down to herself and finds McMahon in stride. Lemos navigates around Flamia, finds Fontes, waits for the overlap for McMahon. Lemos looks to hit that, but the pass a bit offline as Rouse clears it off. Another throw for Quincy McMahon. All Pac-12 first team selection this year as a sophomore. Trying to find Turner, but cut off once again. Now Constant runs out of real estate. Shading two players towards Turner, who's running around trying to get free, and now she gets a couple touches here. But ultimately, it's Flamia getting the clear, and Real returns it all the way back into this end. Turner was off, and this ball will roll its way towards the corner and get off for a goal kick. Quick reset for White, who made a save, allowing the goal in the first half. Gilday rolls it for Turner. Coming back a little bit in the formation. And now leading McMahon on the overlap. Rouse coming back. McMahon on the dribble towards the end line. Keeps it in play. Feathers it to Cook. And as she tried to make the turn, Theoret came back. And now Flamia trying to help UVA break out. Trying to decide where to go. And now in space, it's picked up by Godfrey. UCLA has Bridget Marin-Valencia hobbling on the far side of the field. Meanwhile, it is Cagle trying to take on Lemos. Got a foot in there, and Cagle's content with the corner. And now play will be stopped here as Bridget Marin-Valencia was down for a while on the far side of the Bruin half. And trainer Nicole Briones is on.
And I was waiting to see how long it was going to take for the play to really die down, because, like you said, Bridget Marin-Valencia was down immediately after the challenge, and you can see that, you know, she's a little shaken up for sure, physically and probably both emotionally as well. Hopefully she's okay, because it looked like she was grimacing in pain from the moment that she felt contact on that tackle there.
Minimizing the weight she was putting on her left foot as she hobbles off. Sophia Cook in her place. And now the corner from Godfrey. Outswinger, swept across, headed initially by Stouty, and then fought out of there by Fontes. Cagle bluffed. Didn't fool Turner, has to force it back out. Spanstra out for Cagle. The service ball bouncing, and McMahon will shield away Godfrey and earn the goal kick for UCLA. But dangerous stuff there for Maggie Cagle. She's had a great tournament. 1 goal, 3 assists, including assisting last match on the game-tying and ultimate game-winning goal in that Penn State match for UVA.
And that's the exact type of attack that UVA likes to look to. They like to be able to find Cagle out wide or Spanstra out wide and get them free to provide service. Like you spoke about, Cagle's service is excellent. Her 1v1 ability is excellent as well. And Haley Hopkins is very dangerous when that service comes into the box.
Virginia stays on possession here. So far, these first 7 minutes of the second half, not too dissimilar from the first 45. Constant is being gifted space here, and she will chip it towards Hopkins. Bodies it down, meets Gilday, makes the wide turn. Lemos swings her right foot in there, and the Bruins are back on it. Real looking up the field, and she sends it in the direction of Cook. Diving effort there by Rouse. Ultimately is backed up by Constant. And now here's Spanstra, one of the fastest players on the team. Cutting it inside. Long dribble here from Spanstra before she gives it up for Guidry. Looking for Godfrey, able to get to it. Here is Godfrey along the end line to Hopkins, footed it over the bar.
And what we're now seeing is that the game is opening up a little bit more. We don't see UCLA really able to sit back in their banks as effectively as they were in the first half. And UVA is here able to cut the ball back for a little cut back toward the top of the box. It was just got caught underneath the feet of Haley Hopkins. You would like to think that she can put that on frame, but it was fired at her a little bit too quickly. Now, like I said, the game is a lot more open now. It's going to be more end to end. I feel like we're going to see more opportunities for both sides, but at this point in time, UVA is the one that is able to create a little bit better than UCLA.
And keep an eye on Haley Hopkins, not just because she's the team's leading point getter, but she has a point in each tournament game so far, with the game winners against Fairleigh Dickinson and Penn State. Nearly leveled us here early on in the second half. And that was Godfrey that helped set it up. Theoret gets it into the open space for Rouse. Here's Spanstra. Spanstra going to that end line. And mistouched. He's trying to peel back around.
And that's what Spanstra likes to do. She likes to take defenders on 1v1 and get to the end line for a cutback, for looking for Haley Hopkins or looking for Leah Godfrey, crashing that second six, if you will. But Quincy McMahon does a very good job to just watch the ball, shepherd her toward the out-of-bound line, and then she's able to win a goal kick for her squad.
Spanstra, by the way, is 6th on UVA's career points list. 108 career points with Virginia. She's a 5th-year player this season.
And with a player like her, you can never fall asleep. You always have to be very attentive, especially when she gets on the ball, because she's looking to completely unlock UCLA's defense.
Allie Cook with a glancing touch there. And Virginia will take that possession right back. Constant and Stouty going back and forth, the 2 center backs. A senior and a 5th-year player there. McMahon back to it ahead of Rouse. And Real just looks for a clear, but Constant is right there.
And this is more reminiscent of the first half, where UVA was able to pin UCLA in, find their joy with the possession, but they weren't able to create as much in the first half. In the second half, UVA has been able to create a little bit more and a little bit better. UCLA's lines have gotten a little bit more stretched.
And here's Hopkins. That one going wide, but it caught a piece of a Bruin. It's a corner kick.
And in the first half, UVA wasn't really able to find that final pass to create a chance. Now some of those similar opportunities are turning into half chances for UVA. And if UCLA doesn't shore up their lines, tighten things up, and get more pressure to the ball, some of those half chances now could create some real problems for UCLA.
Here's Godfrey in the corner, third one of the match for the Cavaliers. Here's the outswinger, back spinning. Turner got the initial head on it. Cagle tried to get in there against Desiano. McMahon in there as well for UCLA. Cagle racing to the end line, and another corner awarded, this time from the opposite side of the field.
And that's what Cagle's going to do. She's not going to give up on any plays. She's going to look to use her creativity to wiggle out of plays. McMahon does a good job to stand her up. In the end, it's a corner kick. But those are the types of battles out wide where Cagle, Spanstra, they're going to look to try to isolate themselves to get service in.
Godfrey on the in-swinger. This one right along the end line and unable to be kept in by Talia Stouty. So Bruins survive a couple of corner kick chances from Virginia as we're about 13 and a half minutes into this second half. Sunshine Fontez's goal in the 15th, still standing up as the difference. Virginia out shooting UCLA now 6-4, and shots on goal are an even 2 apiece. Gilday drew a double team and couldn't hang on to the ball. Turner coming forward, but Constant steps in front, able to make Fontez miss. She was out of position. And UCLA reorganizes. Now service ball looking for Hopkins over her head. Dangerous ball, and Haley Hopkins, a tall forward up front at 5'2".
Yeah, and
or
that's
5'10", excuse me.
That's a very good ball in there by Guidry. She's looking for Haley Hopkins to just be able to climb the ladder there. The ball was played off the shoulder of Lily Reel, and that's a very good ball and a potential opportunity had the ball just been a little bit shorter. So again, some of these half chances or balls that went begging in the first half, they're almost connecting for UVA, and they're knocking at the door.
And Hopkins can finish with the head if she gets the opportunity. Meanwhile, here's Allie Cook. Evading defenders, finds a running Desiano. Putting one on and over the bar.
And that's a good attack by UCLA. That's probably the best one of the second half, where they've been able to play a little bit more of their style in the attacking half. Play intricate balls, 1-2s. You see now they find Desiano out wide. She's not shy at all to go for it, and she's looking for that far post, just goes a little bit too high, but that's a little bit more of their style of play.
Desiano, a graduate student, hadn't scored a goal in her entire career until early October, and now she has scored twice, most recently against Northwestern. A throw here for Virginia. And Fontez is on it. Got it forward for Allie Cook. It slipped through on the inside of her left foot. Now she spun around Theoret and is whistled for the foul. This match now 2/3 expired, at least in regulation time. We've entered the 61st minute. Sophia Cook replaced the injured Bridget Marin Valencia. Couldn't get that ball going forward. Spanstra coming back. A switch here from Virginia to find Rouse. Now Cagle. Back for Theoret. Out to Guidry. Methodical possession here from Virginia. Guidry, nice move. Onto her left foot. The cross right to Jaden Perry. Finds Desiano, just got that one past Guidry, but it's collected by Godfrey.
And their build-up play by UVA is very solid on that last play. They're able to find Theorette, and she's able to spray some balls and create a few dangerous looks. But at the end of the day, the final ball for UVA on that left-hand side from Guidry wasn't exactly what she would have wanted.
Leading ball for Cagle, and she is shielded away. Lily Reel stepping in front. Bruins will have possession back. UCLA this season at home has not dropped a match. 11-0-1 here at Wallace Annenberg Stadium, getting one of the 4 #1 seeds to earn the right to host through this quarterfinal round.
Yeah, and I think that sums things up for UCLA's run up to this point in time. In terms of being able to host all the way through to the Final Four, it does wonders. You don't have to travel, you don't have to deal with any of the extra energy zappers, if you will. So being able to stay at home in the comfort of your own house, your own bed, your dorms, whatever have you, your parents can come watch. It makes all the difference in this tournament.
On the flip side, Virginia's been here for a few days. Spent Thanksgiving here in Los Angeles. One way or another, they'll be heading back to the East Coast, and they hope it's to get ready to go to Cary, North Carolina.
Yeah, and that's what this match is all about. Who's going to advance to the next round? Who is going to impose their will? Who is going to carry their program to the Final Four? At this point in time, UCLA is obviously up front. Sunshine Fontes is the one that has been the difference maker, but there's still so much to play for and so much time left in this match, and it's really, really hard to call this one. Even though UCLA has been up from early in this match, it's very even and very competitive.
About what we expected coming in. Foul going against Virginia there, and Jill Flamia. It's a free kick to UCLA. Do they elect to pressure that Virginia back line here with Lily Reel? And she will send it towards that front line. Come up a little bit short though. Allie Cook battling. Lemos doing well to evade a pair. Still on the ball. Look at Lemos by a third. Threading it forward. Allie Cook just out of her reach. Too strong on the touch. But Lemos outstanding to generate the opportunity.
And that right there is what sets Lemos apart from most midfielders in this country. Her composure on the ball, her creativity, her ability to not just settle for the lateral pass or the back pass. She's able to stay composed on the ball, shift her balance, shift her weight, and almost find a ball that unlocks the UVA defense.
This ball gets behind Perry though, and Hopkins getting it forward for Spanstra, who's marked by Reel. Spanstra had it deflected, regathers. Serpentining back around. Virginia showing patience. Flamia rolls it back. Godfrey. Cagle on the lateral run. And tackled there by McMahon. Picked up by Fontes. And she just gets tripped up, and that'll be a foul. Boy, Virginia nearly had a moment there, and they played it patiently, but unable to get anything going into the box.
Yeah, this game has really started to come alive here in these last 5 minutes or so. On this far-hand side, on the left-hand side, we see Lemos do what she does. And then you have Cagle. This matchup between Cagle and McMahon is one to watch out for. McMahon has been up for every single challenge, but when the ball trickles to Sunshine Fontes, she does what she does to just entertain everybody.
Lexi Wright is getting set to re-enter the match for UCLA. Looks like Virginia is readying a substitute as well. Godfrey sends it out for Spanstra. Into the box, this shot, Brisky makes the save, knocking it down at the left post.
And the attack of UVA has really come alive in the second half. They're able to find more joy in the spaces that they like to operate in. They like to operate down the channels on each side, whether it's Cagle or Spanstra. You see Spancher is able to shimmy, and then she looks for that near post. Brisky's up for it, but that is more of what they like to do, and they've been able to find more joy in the second half by isolating the outside backs of UCLA.
Speaking of, there is Quincy McMahon getting away from Cagle. Turner heading it. Cook coming back. Just overran it a bit. Bruins still on possession, however. Fontes able to slip it, but McMahon cannot hold it in play. Looks like Virginia is getting Maya Carter ready to come on. Have not seen her yet. And she's getting ready. Meanwhile, Virginia back on possession in the attacking half. Virginia trying to get their first win against UCLA since 2015 and put them back in the College Cup for the first time in 2 years. Flamia, quick trigger. Can't find that top right corner. And now Lexi Wright will come on. And coming off is Sophia Cook.
And I think that's a good sub for UCLA to put Lexi Wright on that far left-hand side, because Guidry has had more joy in this second half getting into the attack, putting in some balls, and keeping Desiano back. And she's had to defend a little bit more. So now that you see Lexi Wright come in on that side, it's going to force Guidry to stay home a little bit more, and that may push UVA back even further. So, and that should allow UCLA to get back into the game a little bit more in terms of picking up more possession through the midfield and subsequently into their attacking half.
And we see that matchup right off the goal kick. Guidry going against Wright, and it's UCLA awarded the throw. McMahon stepping in front, and that one thunked off her leg out of play. And Virginia will now make that sub. Carter is on for Cagle. So I'd anticipate we're going to see Cagle within the next 10 minutes here returning, and just to spell her for a bit.
Yeah, it's probably just to give her a little bit of rest, because she was expanding a lot of energy trying to get in behind Quincy McMahon, and she wasn't quite able to, but that she definitely will come back into the game here. And now we see Haley Hopkins come out wide, and her ability to dribble defenders 1v1 is something that should be on notice as well. When she gets on the ball, she's often dangerous.
Yeah, she is outside as Carter is now the center forward for Virginia. Hopkins nearly able to get it away from McMahon, who will just send it all the way back now for White. 70th minute now. Virginia in the first half possessed in the Bruin half of the field about 55% of the time, and it's felt about that way, if not maybe a little more here in the second half. McMahon locates Hopkins and cannot body her. Hopkins slips in behind, feathered to the 6, and deflecting it is Desiano, and she vaults it out of play. Dangerous moment there as Hopkins was able to slip behind.
And that's exactly what UVA is trying to do. They're trying to get in behind the outside backs. They've been knocking at that door. They've been looking at different ways to do it, whether it's 1v1 defending, trying to play give and goes. And that time, Haley Hopkins was able to get in behind McMahon there, and that's very dangerous for UCLA.
Guidry looked like she was squaring up to maybe put one on. Thinks better of it, though, and has to work it back to Stouty. Constant. Ran out of real estate. Allie Cook trying to body her up and draws a foul.
And that's well done there by Cook. That's very, very well done to be able to draw a foul for her team. It allows everybody to take a breather. You expend a lot of energy when you're in your banks having to defend, especially in these wide channels. So that foul taken right there by Allie Cook is very, very important. For the team to regroup, they can push everybody forward, and hopefully for them, they can put UVA in their defensive half.
Here's McMahon. Hopkins trying to race against her. McMahon still on the move by Rouse. In front, sweeps across the 6. Just missed Lexi Wright. You also had Allie Cook on the backside. And UCLA with a build-up there as Quincy McMahon outran the defense.
Absolutely. In this second half for UCLA, McMahon's been the best player for me. She's been excellent defending in the channels, and right there she almost creates what would have been a 2-0 score lead if Lexi Wright was able to get on the end of it. What we have been talking about time and time again is how UVA will just not give up. They're a team that they're going to keep throwing caution to the wind. They're going to stay with this game no matter what. So the defending in the channels by Desiano and by McMahon is going to be very, very crucial. And on the flip side of that, whoever is playing in these wide areas for UVA, right now it's Hopkins on this near side, and on the far side it's Spantra, I believe. So that is how they're going to be trying to exploit and get behind UCLA.
UVA will have the throw here, and they're moving with some urgency now. They can sense that they need to take advantage of every chance they have. Hopkins trying to curl one back out in front, but Brisky is there. Closest player was Maya Carter coming in. And the goal from Sunshine Fontes early on in this one hold up for UCLA. Both teams have had limited chances. They have been at a premium. Lemos slipping by Carter. Not in a rush.
And overall, what is an important thing to understand about this match is the press from UVA has been effective. It's disrupted the typical rhythm of UCLA. UCLA likes to dictate the play. They like to advance up the field with the ball through midfield connections and combinations, and UVA hasn't allowed them to do that with their press and with UVA's ability to possess this game.
Flamia flicking one in, and that caught the top of the head of Jaden Perry. Another corner kick for Virginia. This will be their 5th of the match, 3rd of the second half. So Godfrey over into the corner. Virginia has 5 near the penalty spot, 2 more at the top of the 6-yard box. Extra bodies up front. Here's Godfrey. Into the air, Hopkins with a head on, and we are level. Haley Hopkins has tied this one up.
Absolute game on here in LA. Haley Hopkins does what she does best. A ball that's just floated to the back post. She's able to find just enough space for her to climb the ladder, jump, and dunk it back toward where it came from. For her to level this match, and you see the service coming in. She climbs the ladder, boom. Nothing that Brisky can do with that.
Haley,
with a player of that ability, when she rises, climbs the ladder, and does what she does best, she's excellent at that. And there's absolutely nothing that a defense can do. She's marked up until she finds just a little bit of space, elevates, boom, header.
And the height playing a factor as well. 5'10", one of the tallest players on the field. Hopkins had the overtime game winner against Penn State in the 94th on Sunday. And she's got the tying goal here in the 75th.
And that's what these games are all about. In the last 15 minutes of the game, who is going to be the hero? We don't know. Who is it going to be? Who is going to say, I'm taking my school, my program to the Final Four? Who is it going to be?
And here is Hopkins on the ball again. Long dribble. The long stride of Hopkins. Spanstra calling for it, and it's over her head. Spanstra circles back around. Couldn't get it through off of Lemos. And now UVA playing with confidence. Theoret looking towards Hopkins. Greeted by McMahon. Hopkins swinging one across above Spanstra and gathered by Godfrey. Godfrey to the end line. McMahon trying to track it down, trying to carry it out herself. Good strength from Hopkins, staying on the ball there, and Fontes finally curls it out.
Right now, Hopkins is trying to do anything that she can to will her team to win. She's willing to take defenders on 1v1. She's willing to put service in. Obviously, she's willing to score. She is the one right now who is turned up all the way. She's trying to impose herself on this game, and she is really trying to will UVA to the Final Four.
Hopkins with her 14th goal of the season, and of course, a SoCal native out of Newport Beach, playing in Southern California to earn a spot in the College Cup. Mary Carmen Reyes entered the match after that goal was scored. Long lateral run from Godfrey, who gets credit for an assist on that play. And now the service ball from Godfrey, knocked down by Perry. Out it comes for Allie Cook. Constant with her, step for step, but Cook stays on the dribble, but she's being pushed out wide. Now trying to let reinforcements approach. Putting it towards the 18, it was behind Reyes. Wright came in, and ultimately it's Flamia getting it out.
At the end of the day, what Cook just did is very important. No, it didn't end up in a goal. No, it didn't end up in a chance on goal. But that 60 to 70 to 80 yard run that she makes pushes UVA all the way back, and it allows now UCLA to have possession in UVA's defensive half, which we simply haven't seen from UCLA much in this second half.
Here's McMahon, puts one into the box. Constant got the initial foot on it, and now Godfrey will see this ball at her feet. About 12 and a half minutes to play in regulation. Rouse over the top. Perry does well to settle that one down.
Very excellent defending there by Perry. Perfectly timed, perfectly positioned.
Lemos for Wright. She is on. Wright trying to cut back, and it just pinballs off her foot. Nearly was able to get around Stouty, as White ultimately claims a loose ball.
Yeah, and that's good play there by UCLA. Even better defending by UVA. Wright does a very good job to stay. She tries to stay composed by cutting inside, and she's looking for that left-footed finish to the far post. But you have to give credit to Stouty. She does a very good job not to overcommit and keep her balance. The ball caroms off her, bounces off the two defenders, and then just rolls right to Kyla White.
Stouty, a former freshman All-American back in 2019, now a senior, has been an anchor on the back line for UVA for quite a while now. Now UCLA is trying to push the ball against that back line as Cook is whistled for a foul. Grab the jersey there of Stouty.
Yeah, in the end, the right call there by Randy Hoffman. Just Cook kind of tugged the shirt rather of the defender, and that's the correct call. But what I like from Cook is that she's not giving up on any of these plays. She's looking for any half chance, any bounce of the ball to get in behind the back line.
The two goals in this match coming 60 minutes apart. Lexi Wright staying on it, and she is knocked down by Godfrey. Free kick awarded to UCLA. They have had seldom a set piece in the attacking half in this match.
Yeah, God, that is very true. And at the end of the day there, yes, there's a foul on Lexi Wright. If UVA doesn't stop the play there, they're in a lot of danger. So at the end of the day, they're going to need to defend this set piece. But like you said, UCLA has not had many set pieces tonight, and this is one of their strong suits.
Lemos, the chip. A lot of traffic in front. Ball rolling towards the end line, but ultimately cleared out of there. That was Theoret getting her left foot on it. You had Allie Cook underneath the ball initially. Reyes was in there as well. UVA stands up, and they will make a few changes here. Cagle returns. So does Dawson and McCormack.
You just kind of see a little bit of a scrum there in the middle. Lemos puts it in the danger area, but at the end of the day, UVA does a very good job to stay composed, stay with their marks, and clear their lines.
UCLA makes a change as well as Sophia Cook returns. Mary Carmen Reyes comes off. Into the 81st now. Fontes lost possession. Theoret just got a foot on it. Desiano stays patient. Gilday, surprised to see all the green grass in front of her. Plays it outside. Sophia Cook taking it forward, threading it forward. White, the diving stop. Ball is loose, but a foul will be called against Allie Cook here. Trying to hammer that one in on White, who had to fully extend to make the stop.
Yeah, she did what she needed to do at the end of the day, but this game is open, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a thriller. Yeah, you see Cook do a very good job to fake like she's going down the line, cut inside, and put the ball in frame. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Kyla White does a good job at the end of the play to really keep command of her box by not fumbling that one, because Allie Cook was knocking at the door.
Into the 83rd. Fontes in the 15th for UCLA. Hopkins in the 75th for Virginia. Raylan Turner getting ready to come back in for UCLA. Gilday getting in there on Theoret. Maintains her ground.
Yeah, and Theoret's composure and her ability to dictate the tempo of the play throughout this match has been very impressive.
Brisky laying out, but she did not keep that one in play. It's a corner kick. I thought that was last touch there by UVA, but Brisky must have seen a deflection to sell out for that ball. And now Virginia has a corner, and we saw what happened last time they had one.
Yep, in these games, set pieces are always a very crucial part of the game. And what we've seen now from UVA is they're just going to stand this ball up and hope that Hopkins can wiggle free and get on the end of it.
Godfrey on the service, looking right at Hopkins, and she puts it on. This time Brisky makes the save.
And that's what they do. They look for Hopkins. They just look to lift it up and let her do what she does, and she does it excellently. At the end of the day, she wasn't able to get as much power on it as she did when she was able to find the back of the net, and Brisky makes a comfortable save.
Steve Swanson said set pieces would be a big part of this match as Quincy McMahon tries to peel around Rouse, and that's going to be a foul against McMahon. So instead of the throw in the final third, Virginia will have possession.
Yeah, and that's the right call there by Hoffman. McMahon is trying to do everything that she can to get in between herself and Rouse, but Rouse is just as fast, if not faster, than McMahon. So just pace alone is not going to beat Rouse. It's going to have to be combination play, maybe a little bit of deception before you try to take Rouse on, because she has the pace to stay with McMahon.
Lemos tripped up by Theoret. Lexi Wright on the turn, takes the shot and gets two underneath it. That will bring Raylan Turner back into the match. Sophia Cook coming off. No, excuse me, it's going to be Allie Cook instead. There's the challenge moments ago from Theoret.
Yeah, and I thought Ali Cook did a very good job to try to, you know, get on the end of some of the sparing possession that UCLA wasn't really able to have throughout much of the match. But when she was on the ball, she did a good job.
Godfrey with speed, putting one through, but Real cut it off. Goal kick awarded to UCLA.
That positioning and that last-ditch challenge there by Real is very important, because if it goes in behind her, that's probably a tap-in we're looking at.
Off the goal kick, UCLA keeps things in front of them here. Nessiano lost the ball and trying to just run it down the line. The UVA has the throwdown. A little north of 4 minutes to go in regulation time. Virginia potentially looking at overtime for the second consecutive match. Theoret. Located Cagle. Working over here with Dawson. Stouty. Godfrey. Spanstra. And this one is off the end line for another corner. A little bit of frustration there for UCLA defensively.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you spent a majority of the game in your defensive third defending and really in your banks. It gets frustrating after a while, because UVA has really been able to wear UCLA down.
Here's a seventh corner. Again, Hopkins trying to get to it. She could not. It was Guidry who got the initial play. Out it comes to Rouse. Swung outside, or it's bodied down by Cagle. Theoret, pass a little lazy, but not going to cost her. Lexi Wright couldn't quite corral it. Godfrey able to impede her well enough. Jill Flamia will return, and coming off is Emma Dawson. So short stint there for Dawson, who started the match. Hasn't wound up playing all that much. Flamia has kind of taken her role in the formation.
Yeah, and Flamia has the ability to deliver that final pass or hit a shot from outside the box as well. So UVA is definitely trying to get after this match. They're trying to go up 2-1 here before this 90 minutes is done.
2 minutes to go in regulation time. Theoret been more active in this second half. To the outside, Rouse. Cagle cutting back. Sophia Cook staying in front of her, now giving chase against Rouse. And she was off. Did not get back on side there on the end line, did Maggie Cagle.
Yeah, good defending by the UCLA back line for everybody to push up as the ball moves up. Because again, you don't want Cagle in behind your defense with time and space on the flank.
1 minute to go in the second half. Shots are 10-7 in favor of Virginia. They've got a 5-3 advantage in shots on goal. And most importantly, they found their equalizer in the 75th. McMahon going 1-on-3, trying to find Turner, but she didn't make the run initially. Godfrey gets it going forward, but it finds Perry. 25 seconds left. Lemos looking for an avenue. Stouty. Hopkins.
10, 9,
The countdown is on.
7, 6, 5,
Godfrey
4, 3,
will take a shot,
1.
and Brisky has that right at the horn. And we have played 90. It is not enough. We will have overtime. And why should we be surprised that each team's top goal scorer has provided one here tonight? Fontes in the 15th for UCLA, but Haley Hopkins off the corner kick, leveling us in the 75th, her 14th goal of the season. And Virginia continuing to play well in the second half and continuing to dictate as we saw in the first.
And what we've been...
Welcome back to Los Angeles for the start of overtime between UCLA and Virginia. The Cavaliers leveling in the second half. This was UCLA's goal in the 15th minute, though, Sunshine Fontes.
And she's obviously the key player for UCLA. She puts UCLA up 1-0 early in the first half and made it a game of her own.
15th minute goal there, number 11 of the season for Fontes. Madeline Desiano taking a swing there in the second half. UCLA had chances. So did Virginia, though. Spanstra giving a try there against Brisky. And here was Hopkins nearly creating a great opportunity out in front. And here was Hopkins getting the equalizer.
And for UVA, it's all about their wide play and their wide service. They're excellent taking defenders on 1v1 to create chances to get service in. And then on the corner kicks, they're very dangerous as well because Haley Hopkins can score when any ball is in the air.
And we saw the immediate next corner. Hopkins got her head on it once again. And Lauren Brisky made the save. She has made 5 saves now in this match. So just a reminder, there's no more golden goal in NCAA soccer. We will play 2 full 10-minute periods apiece. And then if the match is still tied, we will have penalty kicks. UCLA had their second round match against UCF go to penalty kicks. That was a 1-1 final. And of course, Virginia just 6 days ago emerging 3-2 against Penn State in Pennsylvania in overtime.
And like you said, both teams have recent experience becoming victorious in these overtime games. And from a fan's perspective, we're all fans at the end of the day. This is what you want. You want 2 very high-level programs playing with everything on the line in overtime, 2 very good goals by 2 excellent players. This is what you want. You want a competitive match. You want tense people in the crowd, and UCLA and UVA are giving us a match that has been very, very fun to call and be a part of.
This is the only quarterfinal to go to overtime. Desiano looked to take a bad step, and she's trying to shake it off. Meanwhile, still on the ball is Virginia as Cagle moves in on Desiano, trying to fight through the pain here. Alabama awaits the winner of this one in the national semifinal. Florida State and North Carolina in an all-ACC semifinal on the other side. Long ball is going to be stepped in front by UCLA. Out it comes to Raylan Turner, sweeping it across for Lexi Wright. Bruins looking to build quickly. Those orange jerseys converging immediately on Wright. Wright gets on the ball. Cook tried to set someone up on a run, nobody home.
And again, we've already seen overtime at this point, up to this point, take a similar stature as the game. We see UVA kind of pinning UCLA back. UCLA is relatively comfortable in their banks defending and looking for opportunities to counter. But like I said, we're looking at a similar stature here.
Cagle settles the ball down, plays it in, and this one will bounce harmlessly to Quincy McMahon. Kind of right in between Hopkins there at the top, and also Dawson, who's back into the match. Raylan Turner has not been able to really get free in this one, sliding down a couple of times. And now there's a foul against Allie Cook as she impeded Stouty.
Yeah, and you called it. Here, every single time, Raylan, they play the ball into Raylan Turner. There are 2 or 3 orange shirts around her. It's been very difficult for her to be able to pick up the ball with any semblance of comfortability. And in these matches, that's what center backs do. They get tight and they don't allow any inch for a forward like Raylan Turner, because they know that if they back off her, it's trouble.
Lexi Wright takes it away out in front. Raylan Turner. Here is Turner. Cutting back. And the defense collapses. Trying to get onto that right foot and find a seam. But 3 defenders get back for Virginia.
An excellent defense there by UVA. What you would like to see from Raylan Turner is to just let it rip. Once she gets in and around the 18-yard box, just let it rip. Force Kyla White to make a save. Force something to happen. Once you put it on frame, you never know what can happen. But in the end, excellent defense by UVA.
And here come the Cavaliers right back. Feathered in front by Cagle. On or off foot there on the left wing. Looking for Hopkins. Persky wants everyone to clear out. So right as we're saying, Raylan Turner has been kept quiet. Got a great look there. Allie Cook trying to sneak in on Stouty. And right on the sideline, she keeps it in play to the corner and runs out of room.
And there have been a lot of plays like that tonight that have been crucial for UCLA from Allie Cook. She's done a lot of dirty work to try to push UVA back, because what's happened is UVA has been able to creep their lines more and more forward via possession, but Allie Cook seems to be the one that fights UVA to push their lines back.
Flamia able to get it forward to Hopkins, working against Reel. Reel stays there, but then Hopkins, and the blast is blocked by McMahon. Just had to stand there and take it.
Yep, and that's competitive football on both sides. This game is absolutely heating up.
Here's Sophia Cook on the long dribble, 3-on-4. The freshman getting onto her left foot, cutting it back, and it's blocked. Looked like she slipped down a little bit in the process as well. And it's cleared out of there by Dawson. Perry is going to send this one well out of play. Colliding a bit with Spanstra afterwards, but it will be a throw for Virginia. End to end we go here in overtime.
This is the most end-to-end action we've seen all night. It's been, you know, methodical play back and forth combined by UVA, and UCLA's been really stuck in their banks. But now things are getting a little bit more end-to-end. You're seeing last-ditch challenges. You're seeing players running into the flanks, trying to create opportunities for breakaways or tap-ins, and that's what tends to happen in matches like these. When things open up, it gets really exciting.
This first overtime period, already 6 minutes gone. We all know what is at stake in this one. Here's Fontes, slotting this one out wide. Desiano in a full sprint against Guidry, and Guidry beats her there.
Guidry does a very good job to just shield that ball out. Fontes tries to release Desiano by a nice grass cutter diagonal ball, and at the end of the day, UCLA gets back on it for a foul throw with Guidry. But you know, those are the areas on the field, wide play for both universities that are going to be very crucial throughout this overtime here.
Can't remember the last time I've seen an errant throw-in like that. Doesn't come to matter too much anyway, as UCLA gathers possession here at midfield. Bruins get the switch off to Quincy McMahon. UCLA starting to flow a little more here in overtime. Wright. The cross blocked. Rouse got in there. Wright trying to get in there as well. And Rouse does well to get her left foot on it and clear. Perry perhaps getting away with a foul there against Hopkins. That one got through the legs of Dawson. Gilday still on the move. Crossing into the box. Coming forward. Cook angles. Score! Sophia Cook has UCLA in front.
And how about that finished by Sophia Cook outside of the right? Are you kidding me? Finds the bottom left corner. That is just absolutely unbelievable. In the most crucial moment of the game, in overtime, the most crucial moment of your season. She waits for the ricochet. Absolute kiss of beauty of a touch with the outside of her right foot. She puts UCLA up 2-1 in the first period of this overtime.
One of the top freshmen in the country this season, Sophia Cook with number 7 on the year, and has UCLA in front in overtime.
Just look at that. That's absolutely beautiful technique. Nothing that Kyla White can do there. She tries to get a touch on it, but it's just bending away from the keeper ever so slightly. It's a beautiful goal.
And here she is jumping right off the ensuing kickoff. Cutting back inside. Back to her right foot and just gets away.
Yeah, Sophia Cook, she's ready to turn up. She wants another one. She wants another one. She wants to send this crowd into a frenzy again. You have to give UVA credit there by not succumbing to the moment. They stay to their defensive responsibilities and they put the fire out.
And here's Flamia playing it out wide. Spanstra's cross headed out by Perry. Wright couldn't clear it. It was knocked away by Theoret. And Wright does get it across midfield. Here is Raylan Turner. Turner collecting, the defense flowing back. Trying to get around Stouty, cannot. No foul called, we continue. Both players down on the field. Meanwhile, Virginia coming back, looking towards Hopkins. Virginia still has 11 minutes to find an equalizer.
And the game's open now. So for defenders, it's about being able to stand tall and defend 1v1. And for attackers, it's about finding that ability to pick up the ball, play confidently, shimmy a defender, and try to create a chance.
Flamia getting in. This one is deflected for a corner.
Yeah, it was deflected there. Brisky knows she kind of changed her mind and let it go, and then knew that she probably should have picked it up. She's hitting herself on the head there. She's a little bit upset with herself, but at the end of the day, UCLA is going to have to defend this corner kick. And this is a dangerous opportunity for UVA. They're very excellent on set pieces.
It's Theoret to handle this one, an in-swinging ball on its way, and it's initially touched by UCLA. Raylan Turner and then Sophia Cook getting the flick. This one will roll off, and that's going to do it for overtime period number 1. UCLA has grabbed the lead, and they are 10 minutes away from the College Cup. Sophia Cook, the freshman, with an incredible ball, as you said, on the outside of her right foot, moving left. There was only one spot she could put it, and she found it.
And that technique is so difficult to execute. For all you kids at home, we always talk about just putting it low and hard to the far post, but with the outside of your right like that, again, are you kidding me? It's beautiful.